some people, heavy metal music is simply that strange, loud, angry music that they know of but don't know much about. To others, this music is not only what they listen to at home, in the car or on the bus, it is their life. It's the way they dress, part of how they socialise, and part of their identity as an individual.
I don't have to be different from everyone else, but I prefer it, not trying to be different.
Yeah. That's how you turn it out, I guess.
Yeah, it's not something I chose either. It's not like, oh, I like this because it swears a lot in the music or something. It just happens.
I listen to this, so I look brutal.
Yeah, it just happens to appeal to me, and everything else just doesn't sound as good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to lose that energy that I get from that music when it's really, really good.
Music, more so than metal.
Yeah, I don't think I could not listen to metal though.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much what I write as a musician. A lot of the time there'll always be metal, because I write lots of different stuff. I take it from all what I listen to, but yeah, there's always room for metal in there. So.
However, these passionate metal fans are often discriminated against. They're given strange looks in public and are constantly misunderstood. So what makes these people tick? What is it about this music that they love so much? How did they discover metal out of all other genres of music out there? Why did metal attract them and not others?
12 years old.
Well, I was probably about 10.
Would have been when I was about 12 years old, grade 6.
I think I was about 15.
About 13.
Alright, back in year 7 I guess, when I saw a System of a Down's video on TV. That's it.
Yeah, it's sort of the same. It was like a long line from, I started with Eminem, then went to Linkin Park, then Korn, then Slipknot, then Opeth. But it would have been, starting in high school.
My friends were listening to it and I heard it on the radio.
Metallica were the first band I actually listened to. A few of the boys at school were listening to them, and I think Ride the Lightning was my first album.
Just friends talking about it. Just talking about all different bands and stuff, I guess.
My friend Josh, we were in science and he was all gothy and whatnot by that stage. So we stood off the back because we hated science and we'd both listen to his music.
What attracted me to it was that it was different to everything else, and it sort of took sounds which... it always takes everything to the limit. I always enjoy listening to things like that.
A lot of diversity you can find in all the bands. I like the contrasts. My Dying Bride and Opeth are my favourite bands. They've got a lot of contrast in the music, which is good, I find. And I don't know, the darker tones in the music, I like connect to that. It's really cool.
There are vocals and lyrics that I do get into, but most of the time it is the drums and bass in particular I really, really like.
Yep.
It's strong, some of it's really deep and really gets me going. I suppose the rush of bass guitars and, someone yelling out fucking slander.
I think for me it just started with the emotional content, because I was into new metal, and that's very emotionally driven lyrically. And that's what first...
Angst.
Yeah, angst, and all that teenager, high school sucks stuff just really appealed to me.
I never got into that.
Well, I did.
I was straight to the death metal.
But that appealed to me, and then just later on, just lyrically, I think concepts are much more interesting than any pop album about dancing or going to parties. Where real
boyfriends.
Boyfriends. There's real topics in metal music, really interesting ones. And, I think that's really great.
Yeah, true.
And the darker stuff sounds better.
It's not as commercialised and mainstream. It's not just made to sell.
Yeah.
It's made to be liked.
It's kind of written with feeling.
Yeah.
On the other side, there are people who have not stumbled across this music. The majority of people out there who don't listen to metal aren't exactly exposed to the music enough to become aware of the truth behind the music and its fans. So what do these people know about metal, and what do they think about the music?
I don't know much about it. I have some friends that are into metal, but none of them seem to be really taken by it in the style of dressing like that or anything like that. And that's about all. I don't have much history in it at all.
Well, being the mother of 3 sons and 3 different generations, it's crossed my path a few times. So I know a little bit.
No, I don't have too much. The only thing I know, they wear black.
I guess I have a stereotype of loud music with a lot of bass and a lot of energy, repetitive rhythm, and sort of an angry sort of outpouring.
Well, I definitely stereotype their clothing, obviously. Like, you see someone like Gothic, you'd think they're into that kind of music.
Metal fans are now everywhere. They are now part of the social norm to come across on a day-to-day basis. It would be a lie to say these people don't attract attention when they're walking down the street. But what do people think when they see metal fans?
I think they must be up to some pretty crazy things in their spare time. I mean, they must be really into their music, and it shows by the way they dress.
Very hyper and energetic as well.
Smile.
Yeah, me too.
They're just expressing themselves.
Cool.
I was walking in Broadway with my friends, and then there was like this couple. One had a dimmable geisha, the other one had a dark funeral. And like when they passed, I went to my friend. They're like, "Yeah, that's the way." It was like epic.
No, it's nice to see other people though, especially around here, like I said.
Yeah, around here definitely. Like.
Beyond the appearance of their tough ruggedness, there's a big possibility that they're probably cool, as opposed to any other normal person.
So, despite the fact that people who don't listen to metal are fully aware that they don't know much about the music, and they don't actively think about what stereotypes they may have about metal fans, we're all guilty of judging people before we know them. Whether you actively think it or not, whether you remember it or not, everyone has their stereotypes and will briefly judge a person in one passing moment without thinking about it later. So do these judgments of metal fans actually bother them?
Yes. Living on the Northern Beaches, yes.
I find guys with short hair always have something to say about you, I find. Yeah, like having long hair, wearing black. It's almost every day. I remember...
Especially around here.
Remember Jason Simpson Goff? He had like long dreadlocks and the old velvet stuff. And people would just stop their cars, yell things, and you know...
Yeah, around here you can't walk down the street without being yelled at. Some stupid comment.
Northern Beaches can be closed-minded.
Yeah.
If you walk around in Newtown though, you can't shock anyone. So,
yeah.
But here it's like...
This guy with tattoos all over his face.
But here, yeah, definitely, all the time with
just then,
comments.
2 cars beat to this walking.
No, I think that was actually just a traffic thing. But I don't know. But yeah, I've always had beeps and you cut your hair or whatever. Nothing ever interesting or original, by the way.
Yeah.
Always the same stupid comments. So, yeah.
I didn't pay attention because when you're sort of in that scene, you don't really care about what other people think. It's all about with the people you're with and trying to impress each other.
I don't care.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like,
just like whatever.
I don't care, but it's like I just don't see why they need to stop their car and have to say something.
They want us to look exactly like you.
Yeah,
everyone to look exactly like surfers. You know.
Yeah, a bit boring. It doesn't, it doesn't. It depends.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Well, it annoys me when they go, emo! I'm like, no.